We are back with another Wednesday episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the news heading into your workday, into the week, into maybe your next podcast after the Bald Brad Show. We make sure you're thoroughly equipped with at least what's going on in the world and really leave it up to you if you want to dive deeper into the content. We do this each and every morning, each and every weekday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are a biased show, conservative, if you couldn't tell by the look of how I am dressed. That is part of the brand. It is good to see all of you. Good morning, everybody. Well, let's jump right into the news. The big news that kind of was taking place yesterday was this Intel report. And there was a report that we covered during the Dark MAGA and how Donald Trump was saying one thing, but then the intelligence was saying something totally different. So we have here Pete Hegseth saying FBI is conducting investigation into leak of Intel report on strike against Iran. Now, here's the problem. That probably means the report was true. So, I don't know who to believe. Of course, I want to believe Trump because in Trump we trust, but I'm not so sure. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the Pentagon is conducting a leak investigation with the FBI after reports cited a leaked preliminary U.S. intelligence assessment that said President Donald Trump's strike on Iran did not destroy 3 targeted nuclear sites. When you talk to people who built the bombs, understand what those bombs can do and deliver those bombs, they landed precisely where they are supposed to, Hegseth told reporters. So it was a flawless mission. Any assessment that tells you something otherwise is speculating with other motives. Well, then what was exactly in the intelligence then? Because if you're going to go out and do a full-blown investigation, that means that what CNN received was legit. Now, they did say preliminary. Where'd it go? They did mention that. So maybe it wasn't, here we go, right here, leaked a preliminary U.S. intelligence. So that says there's other intelligence out there that says that the original intelligence was wrong. That could be true. And we know that because you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report. It was preliminary. It was low confidence. All right. And we believe far more likely severe and obliterated. So this is a political motive here. Interesting. Of course, we're doing a leak investigation with the FBI now because this information is from internal purposes. Well, if it's truly top secret, it makes you wonder how many hands were able to touch this. Not good. Furthermore, some news that was also leaked yesterday came from our own president, Donald Trump. You gotta love him. This was a nothing burger, but you could just tell the media were trying to pounce on this as much as they could. They're looking for a story, folks. Is that how small that is on the screen? This Fox thing right here? Hold on a second. Let's see. There we go. I didn't know it was that small. I apologize, you guys. That's what she said. I mean, it looked bigger in picture. Okay, enough. Simmer down. We're getting going here. Now we're starting to cook, folks. The barbecue's lit, baby. The heat is going. Daddy's ready. He's warmed up. Let's get this show on the road. Here we go. Now we're spicy. Well, Donald Trump. I just picture you guys looking all close like, what is he talking about? Try to get your grandsons in there to read the screen for you. What's this old guy showing me? All right. Well, there was a leak yesterday in a text message, and I'm using that word to create a little bit of drama. But the media's whole narrative and what they were begging for and praying for to their psycho sides, whatever they pray to, I don't know, the dog god or something, hell, and the owl god like we see in Bohemia Grove. They wanted World War III. That's what they wanted Iran and Israel and us to get involved with troops on the ground. So that's all they could talk about is bashing Donald Trump. Now, to be fair, they do that anyways. But this is what they really wanted. They wanted to salivate over this. Well, there was a new story that came out yesterday where Iranian foreign ministry spokesman is slamming text messages that President Donald Trump received from NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. It said, quote, "Congratulations and thank you for your decisive action on Iran. That was truly extraordinary and something no one else dared to do," Rutte wrote to Trump as he flew to the NATO summit in the Netherlands on Tuesday. Trump shared the messages in a post on Truth Social. Where'd it go? Shared the post on Truth Social. The individual, the Iranian foreign ministry spokesman said Wednesday that it is disgraceful, despicable, and irresponsible for NATO's SG to congratulate a truly extraordinary criminal act of aggression against a sovereign state. If you don't see the hypocrisy in this paragraph here, it's disgraceful and despicable and irresponsible. This is like the kid, you're sitting in your chair in school and you're like the good kid. You don't drink any alcohol. You don't cause any problems. You never even had a detention. You never even had the teacher look at you. You just go under the radar. You're a good kid. And then the bad kid comes up to you, the kid that's already been to juvie by 5th grade, the kid that's already been arrested on a weekly basis, the kid that, causes nothing but problems in the school systems, transferred to school every single year of his life, has all F's, has nothing going for him, walks up to you and starts lecturing you on your behavior. That's what we have going on here. Iran, the bad kid, the kid that supports other bad kids, is coming up to us and telling us how disgraceful, despicable, and irresponsible we are. The hypocrisy in that is mind-bending. It's truly almost hard to wrap your head around. Look at this. Quote, "Who endorses an injustice lacks integrity. Who supports a crime is regarded as complicit," he added. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know from Iran. There you go. You said you heard it from the horse's mouth. Iranian foreign ministry spokesman says, "Who supports a crime is regarded as complicit." Well, since you guys love to support terrorism, is it fair to say that then you are complicit in terrorism and that you are the leading working mechanism of terrorism across the world? You've committed more terrorism than any other country. Is that fair? I think that's fair to say, I'm just using his own words. I ain't trying to start beef. I'm just using the guy's own language. Everybody loves being a hypocrite, don't they? Always pointing the finger, but never looking at themselves. Now, we do have some updates as well regarding what Dmitry Medvedev said. Now, if you're not familiar who he is the former Russian president. Excuse me. And well, he came out the other day and said that Moscow and other countries could potentially give nuclear warheads to Iran. And I helped break the news on this on TikTok, and everyone is, where does this guy get this information? He's a liar, blah, blah, we've been through it. Where does this guy find his information? The internet. It's not hard. None of this is hard. You go and find great stories. You try to break them early so you get a lot of views, and you upload it. It's not difficult. None of it's difficult. Well, then he came back and walked his words back just the other day. Oh, well, did I say that? Well, it had not been a lot of countries. It might have just been me just BSing. So we got updates here. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said that Moscow is not planning to supply Iran with nuclear warheads. Total walk back, dude. Oh, you love it. After President Donald Trump mocked him for suggesting that the other countries would step in and provide Iran with nuclear weapons after the U.S. strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities. I love that I was called a liar for like 48 hours straight. Oh, this isn't real. This is fake news. Where'd you find this information? I showed you guys the receipts in the video, actually. It was that same video. Where'd you find this information? I can't find it anywhere on the internet. The president of the United States is talking about it. Like, are you for real? Like, you couldn't find it anywhere when I gave you the primary source called Dmitry Medvedev, and all you had to do was just type his name in and nuclear warheads to other countries, and you would get probably legitimately 20 articles being pulled up. You want to know what it is? It's people didn't actually research anything. They just said they did. They looked at one thing called Google. Like, oh, well, it's not coming up. Did my due diligence. It's fine. It's all there. Yeah, okay. All right. Sure it is, bud. Sure it is. So there you have the update. Although Medvedev did not specify any countries, which is true, he clarified later Monday that he was not talking about Russia. Okay, well, if you're not talking about Russia, I think we would all like to know who you were talking about and who exactly was or is going to be supplying Iran with nuclear warheads, because I think we would like to have a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we are all curious as well. The Valley Boy attitude coming out of Brad. I don't have a Valley Boy attitude. Like, what? It's, bro, this is how Californians talk. Come on, baby. Come on. I don't even know where I was. Lost my train of thought. I'm still trying to wake up. The coffee's not strong enough this morning. At least it's not pouring off my counter. Here's some other breaking. God, we got so much news to cover. Geez, like where to start? This is also breaking. I don't know why everybody acts shocked that this is happening. Maybe it's because I live in California, and California is very similar in terms of New York. It's just filled with a bunch of psychos. So Andrew Cuomo falls to radical socialist Zohran Mamdani, is that how you say his last name? In New York City mayoral primary. And people are shocked. Like, how does this happen? Have you not seen what what's happened to the Democrat Party, where they've gone so far left that people have left the Democrat Party and gone to the Republican Party because the Republican Party is basically reminiscent of what the Democrat Party used to be, like in JFK's time? Hell, even going back to Bill Clinton, you would, if you listen to some of Barack Obama's speeches from 2008, I kid you not, it almost sounds Republican centrist nowadays. It's crazy. So here you have Andrew Cuomo's scandal-plagued political career came to an unceremonious end Tuesday when voters overwhelmingly ranked their former governor below a 33-year-old socialist who wants to abolish the police and establish city-run grocery stores. This is a male version of AOC, is what you're looking at. Now, AOC is from New York. This was a lady that wanted to put forth the Green New Deal that would remove all carbon emissions, that would destroy the United States. She wanted to revamp every single building in the United States to code for her Green New Deal. If you did the math on that, by the way, everything she wanted to do, when I say the money doesn't physically exist, you could use all the money on planet Earth and you still wouldn't get her objective done. It's like legitimately not feasible. This is, I say it so often. These people just shout stuff without thinking about the actual workings of it. Like, how about you think about the actual workings of it first to see if it's feasible, and then go shout it out to the sky. At least you thought about it and go, okay, it's possible. This guy is pulling the same stuff. Establish city-run grocery stores. At least it's possible, I suppose. Is it a good idea? No. So this guy, Zoran. Is it Zohan? Zoran? I don't know how you say his name. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I can care less. I'm not in New York. An assemblyman from Queens emerged from the first round of New York City Democratic mayoral primary with 44% of the vote. So wild. Voting for an alleged socialist. I say alleged because I know nothing about this guy. I'm hearing more about this as I'm going through this article. Cuomo, who resigned as governor in 2021 amid allegations that he sexually harassed female staffers, came in second with around 36% of the vote. I mean, can we just pause for a moment? It's between these two guys? Really? Between a full-blown socialist and the guy who, I guess, allegedly sexually harassed somebody, which I don't even know is true. This is what people are doing. Just back and forth going, fuck, I don't know who to vote for. This is the best they got. This is the best the Democrats got, you guys. He called to congratulate Zoran on his victory late Tuesday night and did not say if he plans to appear on the ballot for the Fight and Deliver party, which he formed this race. Now, there was speculation late yesterday that he might run as an independent. I don't know, though. That's what I heard. Tonight was not our night, Cuomo said. Tonight was Assemblyman Mandani's night. New York City Controller Brad Lander, a progressive who recently got himself arrested at an anti-ICE protest, secured 11% of votes. Jeez, these people. I mean, just let New York fall. Really. I've said this about California, and I live here, so I'd be a part of the collapse, and I'm okay with it. Just let it fall. Really. I think there should have been a case that Donald Trump should have just let LA burn down. Let it burn. If Democrats want to burn down their own cities, let them. In the same way, if they want to vote for a socialist that wants to remove the police, I say let them. I'm not kidding, by the way. Let this guy go full-blown socialist in New York City. Let him do it. And just watch what happens. You want to know? I already know what happens, because even though Gavin Newsom isn't a self-proclaimed socialist, seeing him and what he's done here in this state is socialist. And if you want to go a step further, his guinea pig testing grounds for that behavior would be Los Angeles. You don't look any further. Crippling. That's why California's slowly turning more red, folks. People are waking up. People are realizing, oh, wait a minute. You're not a Democrat. You're a socialist. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who sidestepped the Democratic primary entirely to run as an independent, told reporters today that he voted in the primary for himself all 5 times. So you're almost hoping, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, after everything this guy's done, Eric Adams, with illegal immigration, giving them free money, rental assistance, lawyer fees, all that stuff. We're not even going to rehash that out. I can't believe that I'm saying New York City is Mayor Eric Adams' hope. The Great Black Hope is what we're calling him. You know, they said Trump was the Great White Hope. I guess we'll say the Great Black Hope.
Outside.
Hey.
Where is it? Just going.
Who are you going to rank?
Yeah, we're going to rank.
Who are you ranking?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eric Adams.
You're going to write him in?
Yep, 5 times. You know, I'm looking forward to November. Oh, sorry.
What about count?
Why does it look like he's going to jail? This is like what, like this area looks nice, right? But it's just like, and then it's going to jail. He must be going through the back door or something. I don't know. Is it a school? I mean, look at this. This does look like a school, by the way. Jesus. All right. So the Socialist Democrat, which is just the socialist, right? Mandani's clear early lead came as a bit of a shock following polls that put him and Cuomo neck and neck in the days leading up to the election. An Emerson College poll released Monday had Cuomo leading Mandani by a slim 35% to 32% margin in first choice votes, but found that Mandani pulled ahead after several rounds. But it looks like there's a new poll conducted a week prior showed Cuomo winning both the first round after several rounds of ranked choice. Wow. That's crazy, man. Truly, truly crazy. While none of the Democratic mayoral candidates endorsed Cuomo, the former mayor racked up endorsements from big-name Democrats like Bill Clinton and Michael Bloomberg. Mandani has the backing of progressives like Bernie Sanders and AOC, and a slew of celebrities, including Emily Ratajkowski and Cynthia Nixon, who called Cuomo a Trump billionaire-funded sex predator. Oh, here we go.
It is election day. I'm on my way to vote. I don't know that I have ever been more excited to vote for anyone than I am to vote for Zohran Mamdani. I've got my button. I've got my Don't Rank Cuomo t-shirt, but I have them hidden because I'm going to a polling site. Zohran 1, Brad 2, Adrian 3, Stringer 4, Michael Blake 5. And whatever you do, don't rank Cuomo. Vote for Jumaane. Vote for Justin Brannan. We have a chance to make sure that our corrupt, sexual harassing, Trump donor supported, disgraced former governor is not elected mayor of New York. And we have a chance, we're within the polling site now, we have a chance to elect Zohran to have fast free buses, to have rent stabilized apartments with the rent frozen. We have subsidized grocery stores and we have free child care from ages 6 months to 5 years. We have a guy who will stand up to Trump, and we will have a guy who creates a city for all of us. Make sure you vote today and don't rank Cuomo.
Have at it, I guess. It's just like, I mean, I always use this as an example. We're in 2025. I kid you not. It was either late last year or early this year that New York City just got trash cans. Well, we're going to get subsidized grocery stores. So you're just going to be taxed on something that's going to be cheaper at the grocery store, but you're still going to pay for it in the back end. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. It's like Wayne's World. All right, cool. Rock on. All right, dude. Sick. So you're still paying for expensive groceries. Gotcha. It's just, so Mandani, it says here, let me try to see if we can make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Let daddy take care of you here. Hold on. I had this kind of set up for TikTok as well. All right, there we go. Let's make me a little bit tinier. There we go. Okay, so Mandani, who won a majority of early votes, leaned into his socialism throughout the campaign. He pledged to freeze rent. Why does the government get to tell people what they can and cannot charge for their property? Like, you may not like it, but if you're willing to pay for it, doesn't that say that that person's charging you the right rent? I pay rent. By the way, I pay up the ass in rent, let me tell you. You would fall over in your chair if you found out how much I pay in rent. But I'm willing to pay it, am I not? Because if it was too much, guess what I would do? If I felt like, this is not feasible, I don't feel like this is the right amount of money for me to pay for wherever I'm living, do you think I would continue to live here? It boggles my mind when people say rent is too expensive. Then don't live there. You may have to move. If it's getting to the point where it's too expensive for you, that is a sign that you are not making enough money, or you're not budgeting correctly, or you're not doing something right, or it's not feasible based on your income to live in said area. If the renter is able to jack up that price, it's all about supply and demand. This is like basic economics as you can get, like free market as you can get. That means there's people that are willing to pay it. And that landlord probably looked at the area around them and goes, oh, okay, this is the going market rate for this type of property in this type of area. This is what I'm going to charge because I know somebody's going to pay it. You as the government don't get to decide, or should not be able to decide, what somebody gets to charge for their property because it's theirs and not the government. Where does that logic end? Where does the logic end where the government gets to come and tell you what you get to do with your stuff? Okay, let me sell my mugs on the Bald Brad Show. And the government's going to say, no, you can't do that, Brad. People can't afford your mug. So you know what? We're going to tell you and freeze, and we're going to put a cap on how much you sell these mugs for. It sounds stupid, but why? Why is it any different? It's something I own. It's something I bought with my own money. So why do we allow the government to tell us what we could do with our own stuff? And by the way, it's crazy to me that we even pay property tax. I've always thought that was theft. Again, where does the logic end with anything else that we own? Why are we not paying tax on other stuff after we've already purchased said item? It pisses me off. It's so much government overreach that it's mind blowing to me. I've said it to clients before in the past. I don't even know why you would want to buy and rent out a property in the state of California or New York City. One, it's so expensive now that you're not going to make back your investment probably in your lifetime. And then two, the amount of legal privileges that renters get over their landlord is mind-blowing, by the way. Establish city-run grocery stores, whatever that means, and devote $65 million. Oh, boy. Hold on. I got to wet my whistle on this one. There ain't no way. I'm going to lose it, you guys. And for those that are audio, again, we had a lot of people that watch, or should I say listen at work. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you for just at least listening. I know you're not in the chat, but I know you're here listening to Daddy's voice. Devote $65 million to transgender procedures for both kids and adults. Devil's advocate here. I get that you want to give transgender surgeries to adults, whatever. They're over 18. If they want to lop off their genitals and act like idiots, I really don't. It's somebody else's life. I can care less if that's what they want to do. I don't think people should have to pay for it. If you, as an individual, want to go cut off your damn head, that's your decision. It's not my life. I don't think you should. I think your head's, well, for Democrats on the progressive left-hand side of the aisle, I think it's questionable if their head's working correctly. So if you cut it off, I don't think there'd be really much difference. But that's here nor there in this conversation. But going after kids is typical of socialists and Democrats for some reason. I don't know when that party started being so in favor of mutilating children. It's a wild development. It's something new. Air quotes new. It's been going on for years. Don't get me wrong. But it's new in the sense of like society of wanting to experiment on kids by giving them puberty blockers and hormone enhancers. But that's what this guy wants to do. Mandani has also promised to make school lunches, city buses, and childcare free. Let me tell you, there's nothing free. And there's a reason why we pay a lot of tax in the state of California. I forgot how many kids we feed in school. It's as if parents don't even feed their kids anymore. As I've mentioned, school is daycare. So let's do this. What proportion of students are on school-funded lunches? School-funded, taxpayer-funded, doesn't matter what it is. School lunches. So here it is. In 2022-2023 school year, listen carefully, you're going to fall over in your chair. 28.1 million children participated in the National School Lunch Program, with approximately 94.8% of these students, 95% of students receiving free or reduced priced lunches out of that 28 million, virtually almost all of them. So basically 26 million children are getting free or reduced prices for lunch. What about in Los Angeles County for LAUSD? Check this one out when I get to this one. Do you know how much money that is? It's going to blow your mind. In Los Angeles, the LAUSD, the largest in the country, by the way, I think there's some debate with that. I think also New York City is also very large, operates under the community eligibility provision, allowing all students to receive free breakfast and lunch without requiring a meal application. This suggests, listen carefully, please, that nearly 100% of LAUSD students have access to school-funded lunches, though actual participation rates may be lower, reported serving over 400,000 meals daily. Now, you don't want a kid to go hungry, but you're just offering it all, quote, air quotes for audio, free. It's not free. And now he wants to do free childcare. When you offer something for free, everybody takes advantage of it, and you're going to be able, the amount of money that you're going to have to use is head bog. It's I can't even get it out. It's insane. I'll give you an example. Gavin Newsom in the state of California, and that's what I love about talking about California, because it applies to these other psycho states or areas like New York City, gave free healthcare to illegal aliens. He was off on his budget by $2.3 billion with a B. That is not even a rounding mistake. That means you actually don't know math. You can't even, it's so wild. You can't even process it. How many people tapped into that free healthcare that aren't paying into the system, and you're just out that money. And guess what? He had to borrow it. So it's not 2.3 billion. It's way more than that, because you're probably paying a 2 to 3% interest rate on that 2.3 billion. And then it's funny because these same people that vote in this stuff that allow it, Democrats, are the same ones that are complaining that rent is too expensive. Isn't that crazy? Groceries are too expensive. Well, have you ever thought that maybe the government is taking a lot of money out of your wallet, out of your paycheck, and that could contribute to maybe why it's so expensive? Because you don't have any money, because they took it all from you. And guess what? It's about to get worse, because if you think freezing rent, grocery stores, giving people trans surgeries, and then also giving people free lunches and bus rides and childcare and all this stuff, if you think it's bad now, wait till you have less money in your wallet. And it's not going to change anything this guy wants to do, because these people are idiots. Yeah, I'm really feeling hurt right now. I got no money. Of course you don't have money. One is because you probably don't work, or you didn't prepare yourself for success. I mean, you didn't do the things necessary in life early on to get ahead of everybody else. And so because you didn't want to do the necessary things early on to get ahead of everybody else, you put yourself in this situation, but now it's a lot easier to blame everybody else for the situation that you fucking put yourself in. And because it's easier to do that, you expect handouts from everybody else that didn't put themselves in that situation to get you out of that situation that you put yourself in. But it's not going to happen because things are so bad that you're always going to stay in that situation because you're the fucking problem. And by the way, I'm not mad. I'm just merely emphasizing the fact that it's an ongoing thing with people. It's so easy for people to blame anything and everybody else for their lifestyle. You chose it. I chose my lifestyle. It's true. Now, to a certain extent, like I can't be an NBA star. Like there's certain prerequisites that you need. But you got to ask yourself, going all the way back, how many of you have been working since you were 8 years old? I have. I would say 8, 5th, 6th grade. I've been reffing. I have a ref crest from 1999, so 10 years old. I've been working since I was 10 years old. I'm 36 now. So everybody should be asking themselves, well, what was I doing in middle school, high school, other than eating the fucking paste out of the jar? Was I putting myself ahead of everybody else because the world is just a competition? And please don't feel I'm lecturing you guys. I'm not. This podcast goes everywhere. What am I doing now? Again, Democrats love to blame everybody else. Check this out. He was not the only candidate with radical policy platform. I'm sure he wasn't. Oh, I'm sure he wasn't. We're talking about New York City. I eat this stuff up because I live in California. This is so reminiscent to me. Lander called for New York City to become a national abortion hub. Wow. Basically, we're just going to rephrase that really quick. They wanted New York City to become a national extermination hub. Wow. You know what? Fine. Let's go ahead and fund an Aztec temple like you see there in, South America or whatever? I forgot where the temple was, where they sacrificed a bunch of people, right? They're carving out guys' hearts live and throwing their bodies and their carcass down the freaking pyramid. Let's build one of those pyramids in New York City, and that's where they could perform the abortions live if they love it so much. If it's not that big of a deal, why not? You know what they should do? Let's really test these women and see if they're really truly pro-abortion. I want the baby to come out full. And then I want to see the woman chop it up. I want to see if she has the balls to execute her own kid. That's what I want to see. Don't have somebody else do it for you. No. Do it yourself. If you don't think it's a human being, what's the problem? What's the problem? No, I'm just, it sounds ludicrous. Why? Hold on a second. No. Come here. Why? It's not a human being. It's a cluster of cells is what I was told. What's the big deal about chopping up a cluster of cells? That's what I was told it is. So if it's just a cluster of cells, if it's nothing, then have the woman chop it up. Yes. Pull it out and chop it up. Come on. That's what you wanted, right? It's not a baby. We're told these abortionists are not a baby. That's what I'm told. I want to watch them chop it up. So they can look at it in the eyes as they do it. Shouldn't be a big deal. I'm told it's not a kid. Build the pyramids. And propose solving the city's housing crisis by paving over and building apartments on multiple municipal golf courses. Sure. Well, why don't you just get rid of Central Park? Like, why are you going after the golf courses? You got a giant park just sitting right there. Wouldn't that carve out a lot of housing? Idiots. Oh, let's go for the city park. Let's go for that little playground that the kids go on every week down there. Yeah, we'll build one house. That will do the job. Sure, a municipal golf course. Oh, dude. You have a giant thing called Central Park that you could build a massive amount of housing, meaning apartments, because that's what you're going to need to do down there. Let's go after the golf courses, though. I'm having too much fun with this article. I don't care that we're spending like 30 minutes on this. This is too good. These psychos over there. Assemblyman Michael Blake called the dispatch therapist to respond to 911 calls in lieu of police. And State Senator Mary, it don't matter, called for the city to impose anti-racism curricula in its kindergartners. They don't even know what racism is at that age. Kids don't know anything at that age. You could give them, you could give them the difference between $100 bill and an Oreo, and they will take the Oreo. There's no rationale. And by the way, I'm not even so sure if they took the dollar bill over the Oreo, if they actually understood what that $100 bill does. And they go after your children, man. I'm telling you, I've said it time and time. And you know, it's going to get to the point where I've said it so often that when it actually does happen, nobody here should be alarmed. When they start taking your kids out of your homes for this stuff that you don't want to trans your kids. They were trying to do that in California, by the way. They were trying to do that where if you didn't accept your child's gender, Johnny now wants to be called Stacy. If you didn't accept that, you can have your kids taken away because it's abuse. Call for a city to impose anti-racism curriculum in kindergartners. This is where you start eating the paste out of the jar. This is where you start experimenting eating crayons to see if they taste anything. This is where you're still crapping your diaper for some people. They don't even know what anti means. This is where you learn the alphabet. I know some people did preschool and stuff. This is where you learn 1 + 1 = 2. And mind you, most kids are making it out of kindergarten without not knowing. They don't know the alphabet. They don't know 1 + 1 = 2. So how are you going to get this anti-racism stuff? They're going to look at you drooling on, what is Miss Carpenter saying? They're not even going to be able to say that because they barely know how to speak. But this is what you do. You indoctrinate these kids so early on that they come out and they hate this country and they vote for radical people. It's always been the agenda, you guys. This has always been like my biggest conspiracy theory, that this was always the mega plan to dumb down society to the point where they will vote in radical policies that destroys America from the inside out, because it's the only way you can destroy it, because you can't destroy it through military other than the nuclear warhead. Man, just let it fall. Just say goodbye to New York City and just I let it burn. Let it go. You have to. You have to. Now, speaking of crazies, where is it? Let me find it. Un momento, please. Where are you at, crazy Bernie? Bernie Sanders was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and it's somewhere here, and I lost sight of it. Here it is. Bernie Sanders can't answer when asked how humans find meaning if his socialist dream is realized. Now, here we go. And I'll find the clip for Joe Rogan, too, because there's another one. The 83-year-old senator from Vermont recently took time off his Fighting Oligarchy tour where nobody shows up. I mean, the arenas are empty, folks. I could get more people than Bernie Sanders can. During the almost 2-hour episode, Rogan asked Sanders how humans will find meaning if artificial intelligence takes jobs and the government provides for everyone's needs. Andrew Yang has talked a lot about this, about UBI, Universal Basic Income, and I think that's a reality that we will have to face in our lifetimes, unfortunately. I really do think it is. And I've always said I need to start reading up on UBI, because I think it is going to have to be a thing. Andrew Yang was talking about this giant epidemic of automation in this country and the solution being universal basic income, again, UBI, but that's not the solution for meaning, correct? And how do we convince all these people that they have not, that they have to not just take this money from the government, but also take action to give themselves meaning in their lives? This is such a deep question, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, how deep this is. I talk about this a lot with students, that they need to find meaning in their lives. If you look at is it Gen Z? I think it's Gen Z. 50% of Generation Z has mental health issues. 50. And by the way, you take that with you into the workforce. And a lot of you are going to start working with this generation because they're starting to graduate college now and get into the workforce. You're going to see some crazy shit. They don't believe in showing up on time. They will leave early. They won't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They don't know answers to things. They don't know how to research anything. They some of them don't know how to read, believe it or not. And they graduated college and they're going to be working with you. Like, you guys are in for a shitstorm, by the way, because these kids are being passed through the system and they don't know anything, even through college. So this has been a conversation going on in Aristotle. Aristotle has a great, and I highly recommend you guys at least research it or look for it. It's a very short read. Aristotle talked about what's called the pursuit of happiness. And it's something that humans have struggled with for quite some time. And I guess in human civilization, it's relatively new because you've all heard of pastimes, basically like leisure almost. Human beings haven't had an opportunity really in the scope of their civilization to have leisure. And so once we really started having leisure and opportunities to read and take time to do those things and inform ourselves, we're able to advance certain things, technologies, buildings, agriculture, stuff like that. Well, if you don't find meaning in your life, you're going to be depressed. And this is something that's always sat with me, is trying to find meaning in my life. Like, what is it that I'm doing today that will allow me to accomplish meaning? Doing the Bald Brad Show, I find enormous meaning in what I do, making connection with people, giving them news, hopefully making them laugh, sometimes making them pissed off. It don't matter what it is, finding meaning in that. Reading a book, what's the purpose of me doing that? What's the meaning that I'm going to be having from reading that book that's going to drive me further along in life, but also create happiness, pursuit of happiness? Some of you in here struggle with depression. I know a lot of people struggle with depression. You got to ask yourself, what am I doing in my life that's going to allow me to be happy? Well, you have to pursue that. And you can't just put all your eggs in one basket and make that the thing that works. You have to do a lot of different things. I personally don't struggle with depression at all. I have been depressed, but I don't struggle with it by any means. I always say this. If you were to ever talk to my wife, she would agree to this. I'm never upset. Like, I'm never not happy. Like, I am, like she says, I'm the most like stable person she's ever seen, in the sense of my thinking doesn't always change that much. I'm the same weirdo throughout the day. I'm always singing, happy-go-lucky, laughing. I don't struggle with that. And yes, I am lucky, but I also will say that I put myself in that mindset constantly, though. So I'm not saying like it's your fault or somebody's fault for having depression. But what I will say is I work really hard to not be depressed. Mind you, when you read the news and see the shit that I see, I mean, you guys do the same thing. Like, I don't even show you guys a lot of the stuff that I look at. I look at people getting chopped up. I look at people being deleted all the time, because that's what happens when you start sourcing out news. My advice is, if you struggle with depression, obviously seek help, but also find meaning and pursue those things in life. And you might be trying all these different things. But this is a great point that Joe Rogan is bringing up, because people are lazy. They don't want to go look for those experiences. Sanders tried to reframe the question as a revolution in human experience. So throughout history, people have worked so hard just to stay alive, right? There you go. Correct. Sanders said, I actually agree with him. If you don't need to do work, right, because we're wealthy enough, how do you find meaning in your life? Well, that's the problem that we're having right now. Kids nowadays have it so good that they aren't working. Why do you think, you guys, there are those fast food jobs that are now being taken over by older people as a career choice to flip burgers at McDonald's or Wendy's? It's because our youth is not working. How often do you go to a drive-thru and you guys see youthful kids working? Do you remember back in the day when you'd go get like an ice cream cone, you'd see your friend working at like Dairy Queen? I mean, that was my generation too. I would go to Best Buy, I'd see my buddies working there. I'd go to Dairy Queen, I'd see Kyle working at Dairy Queen. You don't see young people working anymore. I mean, I saw it slowly going out when I worked at Staples throughout college. Half the workers there were like older people using it as a career, minimum wage. It was always that people that started at the morning shift and worked till 5 or 4, depending on when they started, usually start at 7, so 4. Those people were like in their 40s and 50s. Like they were using this as a career to work at Staples. Like kudos to them for working, but what I'm saying is that then all of us college guys would come in at like 4:30 and we would work through the night, do like a 5-hour shift, 4 or 5-hour shift, and go home. But what do you do when you don't have those things? Sanders called it a $1 trillion question and said dependence on AI is not the answer. Well, here's my solution. I think, it's not even a solution, it's a Band-Aid, but I think AI is going to get so advanced that I think we will have opportunities for people to pursue happiness just in an alternative, like an alternate universe isn't the right phrase that I'm using here. It's basically like an alternate universe, but like artificial, like a video game. Like life is going to be like a video game, like Ready Player One, where you put on some goggles, kind of like you saw with Meta or like the recent Apple goggles, and you get to go into a whole nother world that's just as realistic as the world that you're living in. Now, you might not be able to feel the weight of things or whatever. We'll see where technology goes. But I think you'll be able to roam the world. You'll be able to travel Egypt from your freaking couch. And that would be cool. I think those things need to happen. Yeah, alternate reality. Thank you so much, Miriam. I appreciate that. God bless you. I've had enough coffee, clearly. And by the way, I want that to happen. I'm not against this at all. God, I would love to travel Egypt without having to fly there and being hackled by all these people trying to sell me stuff or having security issues. You know what I mean? All I would say at this moment is the answer is not to fall in love with your AI creature out there, which is happening, by the way. It's a massive problem that I don't think you guys are aware of, especially for young men. Young men are falling in love with this AI, these women. And let me see if I can pull some stuff up for you. They're falling in love with these AI generated women. And I don't think I could show you guys this, but anyways, if you look at the AI generated women, men are falling in love with them and they're talking with you and having a conversation. I think this is going to be more of an issue, especially as we're dealing with all, AI, artificial reality, alternative realities. I think it's going to hurt the human population. And what they're doing is, and be careful with this, if you're somebody here that deals with this, I don't know if anybody does or doesn't, but there's these AI chat bots that people are starting to date. I know it sounds crazy, but it is true. And because people are looking for compassion, they're looking for love. They're lonely. And they're reaching out to these AI chatbots and they're starting to form a relationship with it, like an AI girlfriend. It is a real thing. I promise you guys need to look it up because it's going to affect your kids or future kids. And some of these chatbots are telling them to delete themselves. And they're doing it. This was actually a major problem with Snapchat. Snapchat had an AI bot and things were getting so bad that they actually had to update it and send a warning out there to people, like a notification that talked about this idea. It's really bad. Rogan wasn't satisfied. Yeah, don't do that, Rogan said. But also, how do you find meaning? How do you, if all you're doing is just getting a check and you can't stay at home and stare at the TV and the money keeps coming and then you eat processed food all day and it's all subsidized? What is life? Sanders said that the immediate solution is to take care of workers who lost jobs at AI. I mean, he doesn't know. He doesn't have a freaking idea. That's basically what it is. He doesn't know. Sanders says he doesn't know how far out the problem is, but I think human beings are capable of replacing work with other emotionally satisfying things. No, they're not. That's the problem. They're not even able to do that now. And this is a problem that you see when you have older people that are so out of touch with society that they say things and they're not even close. They aren't even close. I work with society. That's the thing. I see what's coming about from these younger generations. And I work at a very good employer. Like, these kids are actually very smart. Can you imagine the low income, low school systems? It's bad, man. I think this is a major issue that nobody's touching on, and I love that Joe Rogan brought it up. I really do. So let me see if I can find that other clip with Bernie Sanders. Let me see if I can get that for you guys going. But if you're enjoying what you're seeing, I don't think I've said this yet, make sure you hit that like button. Give it a thumbs up. For some reason, we're really good over at YouTube with hitting the thumbs up button, but not so much over at Rumble. So, and I don't know how Rumble's algorithm works in terms of thumbsing things up, but would appreciate if you did. That would be really grateful. So let me see here. Bernie Sanders, Joe Rogan. There was another clip that Bernie Sanders was giving on Joe Rogan. And it was about climate change. And that's the one I wanted to see. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. All right. So Joe Rogan fact-checked Senator Bernie Sanders after he tried shaming people who think climate change is a hoax. I have not seen this. Let's do it.
Climate change issue. And I know that, there are some people who think climate change is a hoax. It ain't a hoax. I think the last 10 years have been the warmest on record. And we can create millions of good-paying jobs transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency, to solar, to wind, and other sustainable energies.
I think the climate change issue is very complicated. And I think, did you see the Washington Post piece that they wrote where they did this long-term view? First of all, the reality is that the Earth's temperature has never been static, right? We could both agree on that. It's always been up and down. There's been ice ages and heat waves. And then the Washington Post looked at it. What was the time period that they looked at? That essentially they found that we're in a cooling period. That the Earth over the past X amount of years.
Oh, yeah.
And this was like a very inconvenient discovery, but they had to report the data, and kudos to them for doing that. Scientists have captured the Earth's climate change over the last 485 million years. Here's a surprising place we stand now. So look at the far end of that graph, and you see we're in a cooling period.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't read that article, but
Yeah.
Well, oh, fuck. That face, you see his face? Oh, shit. Look at his face. If you're working, I know we're on audio for some of you. Please, for the love of baby Jesus, just take a peek at your screen really quick. Look at his face. Oh, fuck. Oh, my entire narrative is gone. He has the data. Shit. I can't just talk to stupid people right now. Fuck.
The scientists who are out there, I think.
I know, but there's a lot of money involved in that too, Bernie. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of money involved in this whole climate change emergency issue, and there's a lot of control, and that's a big part of this problem. Not only that, if we're just talking about primarily carbon and carbon footprint, what are we going to do about China? Because China is like, what percentage of
They are the major polluter right now in terms of carbon. We're number two. We used to be one. They are number one right now.
I think they have an enormous percent of the global. I think it's.
Well, they're number one. I don't know what the percentage.
High. It's very high.
It's not an American issue. It is a global issue. And all I can tell you is that we are, in my view, going to see more extreme weather disturbances in the coming years.
I'm just, again, let's just pretend he wasn't a senator for a moment. And this is the guy that you're sitting across the table from that's never worked a job in his life. He was a paper boy at one point. Guys, senators don't do anything. You sit behind a desk and you allegedly read a bunch of shit. This guy doesn't know anything. He honeymooned in the Soviet Union. Now, I might be a little bit too harsh on him. Obviously, he knows stuff. You get what I'm saying. But just looking at him disheveled, eyes wide open, like, I mean, Joe, I think it's going to be bad. I think you're going to see some crazy shit here. And let me tell you, Joe, I sound like Alex Jones. The frogs are turning gay, Joe. Let me tell you. The frogs are turning gay. It's just, is this a human being that you want? I got questions.
Years than we have ever. And we're seeing them right now.
Right, but scientists don't agree. Well, this is where it gets confusing. Because scientists that are in agreement, there's all these entanglements. Whenever someone's discussing something, whether it's economics or whether it's health issues or pharmaceutical drugs, there's financial entanglements. I think we both agree with that, right?
Yep.
And I think this is part of the issue with this whole climate change emergency as well, because it's not just that we could all agree pollution is a major factor. It's a huge issue in the world today. We could all agree with that, right? I think one of the things that we have to recognize is that whenever there's an issue that everyone can agree on, you're going to have a bunch of people that capitalize on that issue, and they look to gain more money. They have financial issues that they push forward in order to capitalize on this issue, but then also power and control. These things like they're trying to institute in the UK where they have these 15-minute cities, this concept where you're not allowed to travel. They'll be able to look at your carbon footprint. See, that's the problem.
Well, there's already sprinklings of this with what they wanted to do with the Great Reset. If you want a duo series on the Great Reset, read Glenn Beck's book. I've read a few books on the Great Reset when you're dealing with these elites in Davos. The Great Reset that he wrote is the best one. He does a phenomenal job of packaging it. It's a little dated at this point. He had a recent one that came out, but we're not too far off from this being a reality. In some areas, like in China, for example, you have a social credit score and it tracks things that you do, things that you spend on if you broke the law or whatever. And it's to the point where in some areas in China, you have a social credit score that if you were to use a public restroom, there's ideas out there that it would limit you on the amount of toilet paper you're allowed to use because you are so much of a polluter already. Some of you, I think, were just so caught off guard. There's this idea, and I don't know if it's already been implemented. I know it's been talked about. They do track you socially, but you would get a social score that tracks your carbon footprint like Joe Rogan's talking about here. And it's to the point in some of these communist countries that if you were to use a public restroom, you have your personal ID. Everything's publicized. You don't have a right to privacy. And it would limit you on the amount of toilet paper that you would get dispensed to you because you're already a major polluter. Now that's crazy, but it's real. Furthermore, there's also this idea, and this does come from the Great Reset, what I'm about to pick up on, is that with these ESG scores, environmental social governance scores that were being utilized, and you have one, by the way, through the banks, you just have to go ask for it, where they're tracking all this stuff on you, that there's this idea that if you have this social score that's low, or doesn't go with what these elites want, that you're not going to get a loan that you need to advance your business, to revamp your home or purchase a vehicle, whatever it may be. You are limited in scope of what is capable for you because you are a major polluter. Oh, you said some stuff that was wrong online that we tracked. You didn't do this thing correctly. It's basically one giant video game where you get a credit score, and based on that credit score, you can or cannot do things in society. By the way, that is completely against what Americans should be for. But the problem is because you've allowed so much migration to happen in this country, you've brought in people to the tune of millions that are going to change your culture. Politics is downstream of culture, folks. And they know this on the progressive left, which is why you see them going into your education system, indoctrinating your kids with leftist policies, and those kids grow up to vote in socialists. You're looking at one on your screen named Bernie Sanders. I'm a Democrat socialist, Joe. No, you are just a socialist because you put a word in front of it doesn't mean jack shit. You're a socialist. This is all a part of their agenda, you guys. They've just been doing it for decades. And some of us have grown up in this agenda, like the current generation, Gen Z, that they think it's normal. They haven't seen what life was like outside of all this stuff, outside the indoctrination. They haven't seen any of that. So them going around thinking that, yeah, well, this is just the status quo. It's normal. They've capitalized on the culture, and they is the progressive left. And that's why you're seeing all this crazy stuff happen. That's why you see these young kids going out in support of these illegal immigrants, these child rapists taking over your streets. That's why they're in support of giving your hard-earned money to all these other people, not to veterans, not to homeless people, but to illegal immigrants. That's why they are for it. So when you see young people out there in the streets and you can't wrap your head around it, you need to understand that they just spent the entire first 18 years of their life going to school every day, being indoctrinated of how terrible America is and how they just always oppress minorities and people of color, and that you need to do everything you can to be a voice for those people because they're oppressed. And if you're not having a voice for those people, then you're a part of the problem and you're racist. That is the agenda, you guys. That is all part of the agenda, and we have to wake up to it. Climate change is one of those agendas too.
Problem is giving people that are in power, these people that we've all discussed that have so much money and so much control over our societies, multinational corporations, giving them more control over citizens. And this is a vehicle for that. And this is what's dangerous about this whole climate change emergency, because it allows these fucking creeps that have been controlling people and controlling what you do and what you say and how you spend your money with people that are already living check to check, and you put additional constraints on them and you make them even more scared. And then you put additional measures where you can look at their carbon footprint, you look at the amount they travel, what do you put a carbon tax on these people, let's figure out how to extract more money from them. That's what bothers me about this climate change emergency. Not that we can all agree pollution is a terrible thing. Everyone should agree to that. The beautiful earth that sustains us and all life on this planet is being poisoned as we speak. We're killing all the fish in the ocean and sucking them out in giant numbers. 94% of all the big fish that are in the ocean are gone over the last, whatever it is.
When you go to war against nature, you lose.
Yeah, because you're a part of nature.
Loses. Exactly
but
right.
But we're worshiping the almighty dollar above the mother.
It's crazy. There was another clip here with the Bernie that I wanted to show you, where Joe Rogan shuts down Bernie Sanders after he tried slamming Elon Musk for donating $270 million. It's a minute clip, but it's still good.
What it says is, you're a billionaire. You have now the constitutional right, because your money is your freedom of expression, right? So you don't like Bernie Sanders? You can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is, and you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. So what is the result of that decision? The result of that decision, let's take us to where we are today, is that Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, and we could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay, I think that's absurd that any one person.
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris.
Oh, fuck, a lot of money.
Campaign.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. A lot of money.
They spent a lot of money on Harris as well.
They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So I'm not here just to say it's a Republican. That's my point here.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, you got called out. See, he's gone so long with putting himself in a milieu, in a bubble. And by the way, Joe Rogan didn't used to push back on him like this, but Joe's waking up to a lot of stuff. And look, I'm not saying Joe's Republican by any means, because I don't think he is, but it's just nice to see a little bit of pushback on these people happening finally. And because they all have respect for Joe, they're willing to still go on his show and get the crap slapped out of him. So I'm all for that. I love that. And I give Bernie a hard time, but he the guy's a politician. He knows what he's doing in that sphere. So some other news I wanted to get to here is I have not talked much about this case, if at all. Again, I try to stay away from the drama or certain news stories because I'm waiting for more information to come out. And a lot of times I think we hop on the bandwagon and just make certain opinions and commentary on things that just we don't have the full story on. So here's what's going on with this. Carmelo Anthony, and no, not the NBA star, is indicted on first-degree murder charge. Many of you have heard of this story before, so I'm not covering anything new here. I'm just giving you the update. And could you imagine Harris on Rogan? Oh man, God, that would be gold. Gold. She would never. So Carmelo Anthony, the Texas teenager who allegedly fatally stabbed another high school boy at a track meet, was charged with first-degree murder on Tuesday. Anthony, 17, was indicted by a grand jury on Tuesday for allegedly killing Austin Metcalf, also 17, during an altercation on April 2nd over where Anthony was sitting at the University Interscholastic League's District 11 5A championship in the Frisco area. So this guy on the left deleted this guy on the right. Terrible. For weeks, my team has been presenting evidence. We might as well watch it. Here we go. Whoa, geez. All right.
Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Carmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. And that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
All right. So there's that clip. So Anthony faces up to life in prison if he's convicted. Anthony was freed on $250,000 bail with an ankle monitor after his legal team got his bond slashed from $1 million. Citing financial hardship. How? Really? You're going to cite financial hardship, but you could still meet a $250,000 bail? However, the case sparked outrage and aggravated racial tensions when Anthony's fundraiser page, yes, the guy that allegedly deleted somebody, got a fundraiser page that raised more than $530,000. And his family moved into a $900,000 home in a gated community. This kid here allegedly deleted this kid with a knife, and the kid here that deleted somebody got a $530,000 fundraiser for him, and his parents and family moved into allegedly a $900,000 home in a gated community. So basically became wealthy off deleting somebody. So let me give you the details here. On April 2nd, Carmelo Anthony, the guy on your screen that's to the left, the black guy, just to help with visual, allegedly stabbed a 17-year-old Austin, the kid on the right, the white kid, at a high school during a UIL District 11 5A track meet. The altercation occurred under a tent designated for Memorial High School students during a weather delay. Witnesses reported a verbal dispute escalated after Metcalf told Anthony to move from the tent, leading to a physical altercation, physical contact. Now, I guess there's a self-defense claim where Anthony admitted, the guy admitted to stabbing the other kid, but claimed self-defense, stating to police, quote, "I was protecting myself," end quote. And here's another quote. "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." He reportedly asked if Metcalf was okay, and his actions qualified as self-defense. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Anthony warned Metcalf, quote, "touch me and see what happens." Before Metcalf touched him, Anthony then allegedly pulled a knife from his bag and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest. And it sounds like maybe it was probably into the heart. That's what deleted him. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder under Texas concurrent jurisdiction laws, allowing prosecutors to try minors as adults without judicial oversight. If convicted, he faces 5 to 99 years or life in prison. On April 14th, a Collin County judge reduced Anthony's bond from $1,250,000 that we covered, and a grand jury indicted him of first-degree murder just yesterday. No trial date has been set. The background here, Anthony, who is now 18, was a senior with a 3.7 GPA, captain of football and track teams. See, I would say in the past, the GPA would I'd go, wow, that's a pretty intelligent kid. But nowadays, now that I've been in the education system, GPA don't mean shit to me. That 3.7 is completely meaningless, especially if somebody's a football star. They get so much privilege, it's insane. And held two part-time jobs, Foot Locker and HEB. So that gives him a little bit more credibility. The guy's working a couple jobs. He had no prior criminal history, but was reportedly disciplined for having knife on campus in February 2025. So just a couple months prior to this, the guy had a knife on campus. Metcalf, a junior, was not a track team member, but was at the meet. He died in his twin brother's arms, and his family has raised $530,000 through fundraisers and online platform. Wow. Just crazy. Crazy. So 2 lives completely destroyed over absolutely nothing is what I'm reading. Absolutely nothing. There's something else I wanted to get to here. Give me one moment. Where was it? This one. Oh, I did a video on this yesterday. Jasmine Crockett says she's the one that's supposed to make the effing decision on Iran attacks. Oh, is that right? So let me get this going really quick here. Un momento, please, me people. All right. So Representative Jasmine Crockett claimed that she was the one who was supposed to make the effing decision regarding whether or not the United States should have launched attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities. So I have my reaction to this that I think is just easier to play.
Another Democrat, Jasmine Crockett, thinks she's the one who's, quote, supposed to make the effing decisions on whether the U.S. bombs Iranian nuclear sites. Are you kidding me? Mind you, this is the same woman who thought the Constitution was written by one of Beyonce's backup dancers. And now suddenly she's a constitutional scholar. Newsflash, the president is the commander-in-chief. He doesn't need your permission slip to defend this country. You don't run the military. You just run your mouth on MSNBC. And let's talk about her logic. Quote, we could have saved money by not bombing Iran. Lady, we're talking about Iranian nukes here, not your Amazon cart. The goal wasn't coupon clipping. It was stopping a terrorist regime from getting a nuclear weapon. Trump took out 3 nuclear sites without losing a single American life. That's precision, not waste. She also complains about, quote, cult behavior. Yeah, the cult is the one clapping while she has a meltdown about not being briefed. Maybe if she spent less time grandstanding and more time reading, the Constitution, she'd realize the power to act swiftly and decisively Any military conflict isn't up to the House to vote on. That's leadership. That's Donald Trump. Appreciate you.
Facts, Brad. Man, that guy's pretty good, huh? The guy on the screen, he knows a little bit of something. He doesn't know much, but he knows a little bit of something. So she's back in the news again with those freaking witch fingers. Jeez, I don't know why women do that. Can I say something here, ladies? As a man, and I'm going to speak on behalf of all men, I'm not going to say you're not going to find somebody that disagrees with me on this that's a guy. This is not attractive, you having those freaking long-ass fingernails. It's gross, man. I'm helping all of you out. Now, if you want to look good for your friends, whatever. But you having these like fingernails that are like this, you know what I'm talking about? And you're like trying to clack around like this is how long your fingernails are. It's disgusting. It's not attractive, dude. And watching you trying to type like this is not cute. You look like you're mentally ill. The R word. It's trashy. It's just, I don't care what race does it. It all looks bad. It doesn't look good. So ladies, I'm trying to help you. Please go take them off right now. Now, you can have nails like normal. You know what I mean? Like length, not like this long coming out. And you're like, it's disgusting, dude. I don't get why. I don't know how that. I've never met a guy that finds that attractive, by the way. I've never met a guy that finds that attractive. Find me one, please. Because I got questions. I got a lot of questions. Let's get some even better news here, folks. It's been achieved. We have done it. We have done it. Let me bask in this because I just pulled this up. I got goosebumps. Let me bask in it. I need a moment because I have been waiting for this moment. I have been waiting for this moment for 4 months. And I'm not exaggerating this. I'm not hyping this up. I'm hyping this up, but not like it's worth the hype. I've been waiting for this shit for 4 months. Because I've debated on this topic. I've had to hear these lefties complain how Donald Trump's ruining the economy. I've had to listen to this shit for 4 years about how terrible Donald Trump is and he doesn't know what he's doing. I've had to listen to this shit for the last 4 months as well. And I said, this week and last week, we just need 50 points and Donald Trump will be higher in the market than when he took office. Well, we have done just that, my friends. We are officially higher in the market than when Donald Trump took office. Wall Street rallies, baby. S&P 500 nears record high. Not anymore because I have it right here. Daddy has the chart. It's officially happened. We are above 6,100 for now, folks. With the job numbers, with the inflation numbers, with the stock market, we have completely rebounded and are now higher than when Donald Trump has officially taken office. There's the chart for you, folks. I have the line set up. January 21st closed at 6,049. I'm showing you the receipts. Today, almost 5 months later to the day, actually, almost 5 months later to the day, 5 months and 4 days, we are now higher than when Donald Trump took office. And we haven't even got the trade deals done yet. We haven't even got the trade deals done. And by the way, can I point out, listen to me, I got goosebumps, man. This is making my fucking day. The feds haven't even lowered the interest rates yet. We're looking pretty good here, boys. We're looking good. We're cooking now, baby. I don't want to hear, oh my God, my 401k is crippled. My 403b, I've lost thousands. You made it back. You most likely made it back. We're making America great again, is what we're doing. Basically, at this point, they don't have anything to talk about. What is there to talk about? Well, he's getting rid of illegals. Oh, he's executing the laws in the books with what his job is. Oh, okay. So you're getting mad at a guy for doing his job. Oh, I understand. Okay. Just another talking point that they can't talk about. Love it. Absolutely love it. Easy. Easy. I hate when people moan and complain about things that you know is not like, and by the way, I want to point this out. The market itself is not always the greatest indicator of how the economy's doing. But if you take everything into consideration that have come out with the jobs numbers and blue collar workers and inflation numbers and all this stuff, the investments that are pouring in the United States, I hate to say it, but we're doing pretty damn well under Trump. You didn't get this for 4 years under Joey. All you got under Joey was a bunch of him sniffing children and sleeping. But it's not going to stop Democrats from trying to impeach him. It's not going to stop Democrats from trying to impeach Trump. So this nut job here, this would be Representative Al Green. You might think this guy looks familiar, is because this is the guy during Donald Trump's address to Congress that was escorted out by the sergeant in arms. In my life, I have never seen that happen before. I personally wanted to see him get thrown to the ground and a little manhandled a little bit, but that's me because I wanted the theatrics of it all. We didn't get that. Well, Democrat Representative Al Green filed a resolution Tuesday to impeach Trump over his ordering a strike on Iranian nuclear facilities without consulting Congress. The resolution was promptly shot down. 344 to 79. 344 to 7. You know how many Democrats are involved in that number? A lot. A lot. Crazy. Now, he's trying to go and impeach Donald Trump. Folks, where is it? I just saw it. Hold on a second. Where was it? Where are you? Where are you? Donald Trump is officially in the running for the Nobel Peace Prize after being nominated over his Iran-Israel ceasefire. Barack Obama, who dropped thousands of bombs, got a Nobel Peace Prize. This guy drops 12. Nothing. So they're going to try to impeach the guy that quite possibly could have created peace in the Middle East. Long-standing peace. And not give him the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's hope he gets it. He deserves it. He does. He does. And it would just be another thing that we can rub in the left's face over all this. Market's doing well. We're getting trade negotiations done. We're making America safe again by removing nuclear facilities from terrorist supporters. We're getting trade deals done with adversaries like China. If we can get cooking here domestically and get these deportations handled, because we got a massive we are winning. We are winning. Wasn't that in today's thumbnail? Didn't I have that in today's thumbnail? America is winning. Are we not cooking here, folks? Are we not doing well? The market is up. We got the Iran-Israel conflict figured out. We got the India-Pakistan thing figured out. We got low inflation figured out. We got freaking jobs coming back. We got blue-collar jobs coming back. We got women out of men's sports. I mean, the stuff that this guy's doing. We got a secure border. We are deporting illegal aliens. We got a massive Supreme Court win the other day. I mean, he said it before. We're going to win so much. You're going to beg me to stop winning. No more. Oh, please, so much. I can't take it anymore. So much winning. We haven't even, again, the Federal Reserve hasn't even lowered the interest rates, which is going to boom the market because people are going to be able to take out loans at a cheaper interest rate and invest in their businesses, open up businesses, which is more money. We're still getting more Doge cuts, by the way. Doge, I was looking this up late last night because I'm like, you're not really hearing anything about Doge. They're still cutting stuff, folks. If you're ever curious, follow Doge's X page and you can get updates. I'll actually give you guys the link. You can go to Doge and get their updates on what they're doing here. They're still saving billions. Yeah, no, they're still saving you money. Look at this. 500,000 for urban forestry to lead to environmental justice through more equitability, distributed green spaces, and more diverse green movement. Just saving you money left and right. They're still cutting stupid stuff. They're still finding a lot of stuff, big time. Over the last 3 days, agencies have terminated 90 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $1.5 billion and saving of $200 million, including a $911,000 NASA DEI climate contract. How many times have we seen climate contracts left and right for this stuff? Do you want to know why? It's because ESG scores. Environmental, social, governance scores. They're all about this stuff, and it's infiltrated our government. It's infiltrated our politics. It's infiltrated all avenues of our system, and we got to get it out of there. But huge, huge win for Trump. Here's always fun. This is breaking, by the way. This just happened a minute ago. I guess Trump slammed Spain for freeloading off the U.S. in front of their face, basically.
President, a question on Spain. Are you satisfied with today?
Oh, I think Spain's terrible what they've done. No, I do. They're the only country that won't pay the full up. They want to stay at 2%. I think it's terrible. And, they're doing very well. The economy is very well. And that economy could be blown right out of the water with something bad happening. Spain is the only country that, are you from Spain?
Yeah.
Good, congratulations. You're the only country that is not paying. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's too bad. So we'll make it up. You know what we're going to do? We're negotiating with Spain on a trade deal. We're going to make them pay twice as much. And I'm actually serious about that. We're going to make Spain. I like Spain. I have so many people from Spain that it's a great place and they're great people. But Spain is the only country out of all of the countries that refuses to pay. And, so they want a little bit of a free ride. But they'll have to pay it back to us on trade because I'm not going to let that happen. It's unfair. It's unfair to NATO. All right, sir, please.
Love that. That's a guy that's America first. I'm not going to allow them to freeload. This is the guy. He's cooking. He is cooking. And I'm loving every bit of it. Here's 16 seconds. And I'm gonna end with this clip because it's so good. Trump is taking a question here from Caitlin Collins, and we're going to end on this clip. Caitlin Collins of CNN.
Oh, fake news CNN? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Wait till you hear this question. You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President.
Yeah, baby. Put her in her place, Trump. Smack her around. Kick her out. It's just teasing. I love it. I love it. Well, great things are being done with President Donald Trump. He's the peacemaker in chief. He's making America great again. He's putting America first. This is exactly, yes, Miss Mom said it correctly. The words right out of my mouth. This is exactly what we voted for. This is exactly what we wanted. We're getting everything that we wanted right here. I have goosebumps saying it because this is exactly what I wanted, is to make America great again, to make America safe again, to make America wealthy again, to make America great again. With that being said, that is today's podcast. I appreciate all of you choosing my outlet each and every morning to get your news and get your shenanigans. And well, if you want to donate to the show, there's baldbrad.com that you can donate through. We get 97% of the proceeds, which is great because I think YouTube takes like 30% or whatever, and then Rumble takes like 20% or whatever. At least you're supporting Rumble. You're kind of killing two birds with one stone. You're supporting me, but you're also supporting Rumble at the end of the day. And they're a platform that's never censored me at all, by the way. Not even close. So thank you to everybody that supports the show, whether you're a member or you're just a viewer. Appreciate you. God bless. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for America. And folks, I will see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on The Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.